Imagine being a young couple in Canada, eager to buy your first home, only to find that the supply of affordable starter homes seems to be shrinking with every passing year. You search online listings daily, attend open houses, and maybe even stretch your budget, yet the dream of homeownership feels more distant than ever. Meanwhile, across the country, a large share of family-sized homes sits occupied seniors who have no plans to downsize. While their decision makes perfect sense for personal and emotional reasons, it's creating ripple effects in the housing market that directly impact younger generations. This growing trend seniors holding onto their properties instead of moving into smaller homes, condos, or retirement communities is quietly but powerfully reshaping Canada's real estate landscape. And for first-time buyers, the consequences are becoming harder to ignore. Why seniors aren't downsizing? There are several reasons why older Canadians are choosing to stay in their homes longer. Emotional attachment. For many seniors, their homes represent decades of memories. It's where they raised children, built family traditions, and created a sense of identity. Leaving that space can feel like letting go of part of their life story. Logistical challenges. Downsizing isn't easy. The process of decluttering, selling, and moving can feel overwhelming, particularly for individuals in their 70s or 80s. The stress of relocation often outweighs the perceived benefits. Lack of alternatives. In many Canadian cities, there simply aren't enough senior-friendly housing options. Retirement communities are expensive. Smaller condos aren't always available in the same neighborhood. And moving to another region can mean losing proximity to family or friends. Financial considerations. Downsizing doesn't always guarantee financial relief. With transaction costs, taxes, and the price of smaller condos soaring in urban centers, many seniors realize that selling their home may not leave them much better off. The demographic shift at play. Canada's population is aging rapidly. According to Statistics Canada, by 2030, nearly 1 in 4 Canadians will be aged 65 or older. This demographic shift means more homes are being occupied by seniors, many of whom have no incentive or desire to move. In decades past, it was common for older adults to downsize once their children left the nest, freeing up family homes for younger buyers. Today, however, that cycle has slowed dramatically. Only a small percentage of seniors are relocating, which means starter homes, those affordable, family-sized properties in suburban neighborhoods, are effectively being locked out of the market for extended periods. The impact on first-time buyers. The consequences of this trend are far-reaching. Reduced supply of starter homes, fewer seniors. Downsizing means fewer detached and semi-detached homes are entering the resale market. First-time buyers, who traditionally rely on these homes as entry points, face stiffer competition and higher prices. Prolonged renting for young families. With limited options, many young families are forced to rent for longer than they'd like. This delays wealth building through home equity and makes it harder to achieve financial stability. Generational tension. Although it's rarely discussed openly, the housing market is increasingly becoming a point of tension between generations. Seniors feel entitled to remain in their homes, and rightly so, while younger Canadians feel squeezed out by structural imbalances they cannot control. A closer look. The golden handcuffs of homeownership. For seniors, staying in a long-owned home often means living mortgage-free with low property taxes, thanks to assessment caps in some provinces. This creates what some economists call golden handcuffs, strong financial incentives to stay put. Selling and moving might actually increase monthly expenses, especially if it means buying into a condo with high maintenance fees or renting in a city where prices rival mortgage. Thus, the rational choice for many is simply to remain in place even if their homes are larger than they need. Possible solutions. While no one is suggesting seniors should be forced to move, there are policy and market solutions that could help ease the bottleneck. Incentives for downsizing. Governments could introduce tax breaks, grants, or reduce land transfer taxes for seniors who choose to downsize. This will reduce the financial burden of moving and encourage housing turnover. Building more senior-friendly housing developers could focus on creating affordable, accessible, and community-oriented housing for older Canadians. If appealing options exist, more seniors might consider moving. Shared housing models. Innovative solutions like co-housing or intergenerational living arrangements could allow seniors to remain socially connected while freeing up larger homes for families. Policy reforms. Some economists argue that property tax reform, such as gradually phasing out senior tax freezes, could motivate movement. However, these ideas are controversial and must balance fairness with practicality. The bigger picture, intergenerational balance. At its core, this issue highlights the delicate balance between generations. Seniors have earned the right to make choices about their living arrangements, but the broader housing ecosystem is affected by those decisions. Meanwhile, millennials and Gen Z already facing high student debt, rising rent, and inflation are left wondering if home ownership will ever be within reach. Rather than framing this as a battle between young and old, the focus should be on building systems that serve both groups. Seniors deserve comfortable, dignified living spaces, and younger families deserve accessible pathways to home ownership. The challenge lies in aligning housing policy, development, and financial incentives to achieve both goals. Conclusion: where do we go from here? The Canadian housing crisis is complex, and seniors holding on to homes is just one piece of the puzzle. But it's a piece that deserves more attention because it directly affects the flow of properties through the market. Without thoughtful interventions, the imbalance between seniors who stay put and young buyers who can't get in will only grow sharper. As the 65-plus population continues to expand, policymakers, developers, and communities must find creative solutions that respect seniors' choices while giving first-time buyers a fighting chance. So here's the big question for you. Do you think seniors should be incentivized to downsize? Or is it their right to stay put no matter the impact on the market? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because solving Canada's housing crunch isn't just about policy. It's about listening to the voices of every generation.